I don't think she didn't do it because it wasn't important. I think it's just how the generations.
How many siblings do you have?
I'm an only child.
You're the only child. And you never learned anything from your
I know a few words, and
Yeah.
if they speak, I can understand. It's just that I cannot speak it.
So no, not in India. In Devon, do Indian people speak Indian to each other?
I don't. Maybe the older generation. I don't think the younger generation. No.
So you all speak English to each other. So you guys are getting diluted.
Yes, we are. I would say so. I've never been. I'm sure there is family in India. I know my dad's brothers and sisters have been and they've met. But I mean, you haven't seen these people and you go there.
Yes.
It's not. I don't think. I don't know. Someone asked me once and I said, it's not like you can go back to India and say you can go home. There is no...
So you don't have a caste system where you are ranking, you know which one is upper class and stuff?
I don't think that occurs here.
Can you explain to me, because I don't understand, the untouchables in India? What's your understanding of it? I'm not saying
I just assume it's people that are much darker skinned and obviously are not from the same wealth and class and language. For example, like I would assume Zulu people are more seen as superior as the other, or the Venda people are feared. It's just like that kind of a...
So because in South Africa, what people won't tell you is we actually do have a caste system. But people don't want to tell you that we have it. So for us, it's not...
I noticed it because I went to my friend's house and she's Zulu. And when I came to sit on the table, her husband got up. Yes. And then apparently we were told that it's because the women don't sit with the men. Yeah. I was very like taken aback by...
But I was saying in South Africa, we actually have a caste system. But people don't want to speak about it. They will speak about because... In India, they have made sure that this is, you can't marry from this class. You jump and put. In South Africa, we do have it.
But I've read a lot of books with regards to this, right? And even with the African people, and it stems a lot from when we were colonized, and a way for the white man to have control is to bring that into the system. So if you create that animosity within the people, it's easier to control them, if that makes sense. So in India, the light-skinned people are adored and the darker are not. Which
it's not by accident.
I've read many books which say that there was a lot of psychology done into it to make a person hate another person because of their skin color or create that
and even benefits. You give benefits to those who are lighter. It goes further. I mean, if Indians, South African Indians are the biggest population of Indians outside of India. The same way, the biggest population of Africans outside Africa is in Brazil. So what happened in Brazil, South America, Argentina, a lot of South Americans have done it. They realized that their population was a bit darker, and they introduced and they paid people, they incentivized people to come and brighten their community, because the lighter you are, the more. And this propaganda goes much further than that, because it's how you control nations based on their darkness. Anywhere you go, I do not know of any nation, they might be existing, I do not know of any nation where the darker you are, the more lovely you are. Even in everything. So yesterday I was watching, one of my best movies is Lion King. I was watching Lion King with my kids. I've watched that movie ever since I was a teen. I love it to bits. You know why they made Scar as a bad guy darker?
To represent that.
That.
No, I agree.
Simba
and
they have to be, because it has always been like that. They want, it's not, I mean, it goes far beyond that. So it's systematic. That's why I'm telling you that even in South Africa, do you know what the tri-cameral parliament?
No.
So what happened with the tri-cameral parliament is in 1983 they made I think it started around 1981. They made a plan to change the constitution of South Africa, because they were bottleneck of issues and everything. They could not move anymore. They had compressed themselves. They say, okay, let us be a bit inclusive. But there were a lot of right-wingers who said, as inclusive as you want to be, we don't want Africans in our parliament. So they thought of, okay, let's recognize the Indians and the...
Oh, the House of Delegates now.
Yes, the
House of
Delegates for the Indians and the representatives for the colored. So they said the first one would be the whites. I think the whites had about 187 or 184 members. It was the higher house, and then the coloreds had about 85 or 84 members of parliament, and then the Indians had about 45. So that was a parliament. So it ran from around 1984 to 1994, when we took over as a constitutional democracy. But it just shows you that you control people, because what would happen is you do not want people to mix, integrate, and agree. It's a divide and rule. What this helped them, because at the time, it was the time of Mangope, Matanzima, they had Bantustans. They lived in different areas. Because they lived in different areas, they had their own kingdoms. They had those little kingdoms worked well for the white minority, because they would concentrate there, and they would then but it lasted for only 10 years until the democracy came. But that's just how to show you that there is a caste system.
No, I agree. I totally agree.
Class and classism is everywhere. And so, in a way, Indians in South Africa were not as oppressed as Africans were. The coloreds were not as oppressed as Africans were. And whenever this is spoken about, all of us must not see it as if we are fighting each other, because it's there, it's proven. The oppression was not different, and it was deliberate. Because, come to think of it, there shouldn't be any race called colored. There is no race that is called colored. The culture, yes, I can understand, because they were cultured differently. Culture and tradition is very difficult to draw lines and everything. But that's why maybe in other countries, like the best example that everyone uses is in the United States. If you are colored, there's no colored community. You live amongst the Africans and everything. And if you are wealthy enough, you go and live wherever you want.
I didn't realize that. Yeah.
Someone told, and Trevor Noah said it. Have you ever been to Devon to live there?
No, I've never.
Maybe to study?
No, I've never. No, I've only been on holiday or to visit family.
So you know Devon as we know it.
That's correct.
and do you know if the darker skinned people in Devon, do they receive the same treatment as?
I don't think so. I think even in Pretoria or Johannesburg, I think if you are a darker skinned person, I think that you are not found as beautiful as a lighter skinned person. I am from my family. I'm a bit darker than the rest, so I personally did experience a lot of that growing up.
So how do you receive it as? Because to us, me and Calvin, we are almost the same complexion. So because we live amongst ourselves, we do not experience it as harsh, because it's like our tone, our pigment is almost the same. So it's like common. We're not too dark, and we're not light either. So we just like common. And how do you experience it? Because I know colored people who do have it.
Yeah, so there's a stigma that goes around you, or the way they speak of you, or
okay.
Yeah, or
I know colored people who call the darker ones kafir.
No, not like that. No,
but I'm saying how raw the others is.
It's a very subtle way, but you would feel it if you understand. If you are in a family where everyone is much lighter skin and you are, but
so you feel it in the family or outside?
Both.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's something that I had to grow up with, and then I've really come to terms with it, if I can say, and I now wear my skin proudly. I don't care anymore whether you think I'm dark or not. Yes. I'm quite happy, but it's taken me a very long. But then again, that's why I'm saying to you. That's why I've read so many books on this, where it really stems from creating that way. If I feel like they don't like you based on your color, or they don't
Yes.
find you beautiful based
Yes.
on your color.
Yes.
But today, when you see people like Naomi Campbell, or you
Yes.
see these Nigerian
Yes.
women, they are found to be one of the most beautiful women in the world, and they
Yes.
have. I mean, Nigerians are very dark skinned.
Yes.
So I mean, even now, black diamonds are more expensive than normal diamonds, even though
Yeah.
the value is not great.
Oh.
But it's because of that whole concept of them trying to come out to say that black is
Yes.
beautiful.
I've read about how even Bollywood influences that. The more the given, the lighter the characters is more on
The
the
more
good
it
side,
is.
and then the darker the bad guys. Okay, tell me, do you have relations? When I say relations, I mean like family of mixed race people, like maybe whether maybe any of your family links have
So I have few that are married to
Yes.
Afrikaans people.
Yes.
There are two people. They've adjusted very well.
They just- yeah.
Yeah. Two are married to colored women, also adjusted very well. Yeah, that's about it.
what does the name Mehreen mean?
So it's derived from the term meher, which means gift, because I'm an only child. My parents couldn't have children. They struggled
Yeah.
to have children.
But so when they gave it to you, it was because they knew they were struggling.
The name, yes. My
Okay.
dad,
Your second name, I
studied
think- okay.
in Saudi Arabia Arabic, so he's
Okay.
very fluent with Arabic. It's
Oh.
very uncommon for men in my dad's generation
Yes.
who are like can
Yes.
speak and write Arabic the way he does.
Is he Muslim?
Yes. But I'm saying